can the Buffalo Bills be the team that stops the Kansas City Chiefs from having an unbeaten season? This seems like a weekly thing now we're going to ask. Can somebody actually beat Spags' defense? Because that's really what we're going to have to really discuss in this one. But, boys, what do you think about this game? Because it is the marquee game of the week. These two always put on a show when they come up against each other, but I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring affair like it has been in previous matchups. Peter, your thoughts on this one first?
It's a very intriguing matchup in terms of the Chiefs still winning despite not being all firing at all cylinders all week. They have all year. They haven't been the Chiefs that we know them to be. And Buffalo has been playing pretty well this year, especially Josh Allen, who seems to be in the MVP conversation at this moment in time. It's going to be an interesting matchup. The thing is, can Buffalo, for me, can they remain patient enough to run the football? And when I say that, it's because with the Chiefs, right? Sometimes you might be hesitant wanting to throw the football a lot, and they might not want to do that. Sometimes are they going to be patient enough with their run game? Because the Bills' run game can work if they are patient and stay with it enough. Because James Cook has actually been a very good running back for their system this season, with how he's created a couple of mismatches and he's been running the football. And can Josh Allen will his team to win this game? And for me, this game comes down to the fourth quarter, because as we've seen with the Chiefs, even in tight games, they find a way in the fourth quarter to pull through. Mahomes will make a play.
Special teams will make a play like last week.
Special teams makes a play. So all of those things can come into. So for me, at the end of the day, it comes down to the fourth quarter. Will the Bills be leading in the fourth quarter? And if it's tied in the fourth quarter, can the Bills hold on, or can they actually come back and find a way to win the game? Because as we all know, with the Chiefs, it's not just... I think the Chiefs, so far, their wins have not just been one side of the ball driving the team. It's been like the whole team effort. Special teams will make a play. Defense sometimes will make a play for them to win. And offense sometimes comes through in the end. So it's a combination of all of those things, and it makes a very, very intriguing matchup in this game.
So the one thing that noted just before we hit record on this is that Harrison Butker, the Chiefs kicker, sidelined with a serious knee injury. He needs to have some form of surgery. He's going to be out 3 to 4 weeks. So he's landing on the IR, which means at the moment I haven't seen exactly who the. So to fill the vacancy, the Chiefs are signing Spencer Schrader off the Jets practice squad to their 53-man roster. And in a pinch, they have used Justin Reed as the emergency kicker. So at the moment, it's not as good of a kicking situation as they've had. Obviously, next man up mentality, but the Chiefs games have been close. So if it gets too close and they have a 50-plus yard field goal, it might have an impact on their decision making. But they must have picked this guy for a reason, so let's see if that has any impact at all. Now, if you look at how Patrick Mahomes has played in the last couple of games, so the last couple of games is his first 2 games that he's been interception free. Game against Tampa and the game against Denver. Prior to that, every single game he had thrown an INT. Now, the key to this game is, one of the keys is, can Buffalo actually cause Mahomes to make the errors that he was making earlier on in the season? Obviously, now with DeAndre Hopkins being there and being such an important target, particularly in the red zone.
Reliable target.
A reliable target in the red zone as well, on top of having Kelsey there. It's a tall order.
100%. I think the rest of the league should have tried to veto this trade and not make it happen. DeAndre Hopkins is like the most surefire hands. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of pros, there's a lot of all pros that are saying with a clear conscience that he's a Hall of Famer, which I think Pete's definitely gonna have something to say there, but I think he is definitely one of the best right now in terms of consistency and knowing that he can catch any ball you throw his way, surefire hands. And that's something like if you compare it to like last season, that's what the Chiefs had. A lot of those games were within winning distance, but the drops added up. They haven't really had that much of an issue this season, but they've surefire cleaned it out by acquiring DeAndre. I think Travis Kelce's premature demise, people were saying he was washed, he's done, grossly premature there. Grossly premature because he's finding his
Have you seen the last three games? 8 receptions, 14 receptions, 10 receptions. They are feeding him.
They are feeding him, yeah. But here's the thing. A lot of the times in the league, it's who gets hot at just the right time. Now, the Chiefs haven't lost a game yet, but it seems to me that they're still improving, which is why it's crazy. But
the mad thing is they're improving, yeah. If you look at it, often if you take away the Tampa game where they scored the touchdown in overtime, they haven't scored more than 28 points.
Yeah,
in regulation, right? The whole shtick is you're not going to be able to put up 30 points on us at all. Therefore, we're going to be able to score just enough to be able to win. Now, obviously, when you don't have a surefire kicker situation, that has an impact on that. Because when drives do break down, which they do tend to happen as well for the Chiefs, they like if you look at Mahomes in the last game, he did get sacked 4 times, and yeah, I don't know how to call it.
I basically think, I think in the pre-show you brought up that chart in terms of wide receiver groups on teams being able to get separation. Obviously, we've seen that the Bills is one of the lowest right now. They're still able to make things happen. Here's the thing. I think Josh Allen has to go back to sort of Josh Allen of yesteryear. He's going to have to run the ball. Well, maybe a few more times than he would necessarily want or the organization would want. James Cook is a good back, but he's a lot better in space. He's not a hammer. He's an open field runner. He's more of like a scat back. But I think Josh Allen, to win this game, I think he's going to have to be over 50 in terms of running the ball.
Well, he got 50 last week in the victory against the Colts, but obviously they were massively helped by the interception machine that was Joe Flacco, giving points as much as possible, which is not going to be the case with Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick Mahomes is not going to give you a free pick six to start the game. He says that, and then if that's the start of the game, then it happens. Then come back to this. Then come back to this. But are you guys going to call it one way or the other, or do you think the Chiefs are going to go into this game is in Buffalo again? So this game is in Buffalo, so it's going to be a hostile atmosphere. But do you think the Chiefs are going to go to 9-1? Because if you look at the rest of their games coming up, Panthers, Raiders, Chargers, Browns, Texans, Steelers, Broncos. The only other teams that I can see beating them are the last 3 games. Right? Texans, Steelers, Broncos, but I think the Texans, they should win that game, and the Steelers and Broncos, because we saw with the Broncos, they managed to do something. Yeah, and if they're 17-0 by then, they could actually sit Mahomes.
Yeah.
But all right, calling this one. Do you think is any going to stick their hand up and say one team's going to win or the other, or are we just going to be along for the ride?
Bills.
I'm going to go with Chiefs.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs because I don't know if Keon Coleman's going to be ready for this game. If he's not, then that's a big dampener that affects their passing game. Can't really run the ball on the Chiefs very well, and that's going to make it that little bit more difficulty, not worried about the past so much. But that's my rationale. But if you like this, and who do you think is going to win? Because we would love to see your comment down below. Please drop a like. Please subscribe. And we'll catch everybody on the next week's content, which will be looking at everything that has happened in this week's game.